Alright, yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. The topic of today's video, I'm going to be talking about Evil Eye. It's this archetype that I really overlooked. I didn't really test it. Funny thing, back in the day, my homeboy Brandon gave me dang near the whole core of the first, initial release before it got the new wave of support that really changed the deck. It made it a lot more fast-paced. Back in the day, when it first came out, a lot of people just played it kind of like a Guru Control S deck, where it's like you had your field spell, you had your main normal summon, and you kind of just, it was like how you would sit on Guru and just try to generate advantage that way. You would, same thing with like how Evil Eye was back in the day. You just normal Sergio, equip Evil Eye of Celine to him, and just pass, and then hope that that was enough with your floodgates and hand traps. But it's a little different now. It's more fast paced. You could play it more combo-esque. So I'll get into the deck list. I'll show you guys some replays and just talk about how good this deck is, because honestly I feel like this deck is actually tier 2 material. It's really strong. It has a amazingly, it actually threw me off how good the grind game is, and just the recursion, the recovery, the amount of disruptions it could put up, how strong the monsters get, and how hard it is to deal with them. It has its weaknesses just like every deck, but it's a really strong deck. And I definitely underestimated it. Just being able to put up Tridents, the ability to pop monsters, special summon monsters, the ability to negate monsters, counter trap the negate spells and traps, back row removal, a double compulse, which you can use. Like, it's just so good. Like, the cards, wow, like it's like the spells and traps are just really good in this deck. And then the extra deck monsters are way easier to make now because of the new support that we got. And just now we're actually using the familiars. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the list, but honestly, like, this deck is really strong, you guys, and it's a lot more fast paced. It's not just Sergio pass anymore. It's like super strong, going first, going second. You guys are gonna see me just like kicking butt with this deck. So here's my list. So I'm gonna start off with the monster lineup. I played 3 Sergios. Sergio is your main starter. It's kind of like a Trickstar Candina. When it's normal summon, you can add an Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, except himself. So it's not literally like Candina, but it's better than Candina, because like when it's equipped, it's actually an interruption by himself. And since he's not special summon, like cards like Necros of Unicorn and like the Buster Lock, like if you're under the Buster Lock and like you Dark Ruler no more your opponent, for example, you don't need your extra deck to get the job done with this deck. The side deck's gonna change probably, but for right now I'm just experimenting. But like Sergio is really strong, you guys. And also the synergy he has with the field spell when you have Evil Eye monsters in your grave when you're using his effect, because it's mandatory to destroy a card during the next standby. Another cool thing too is you can actually chain his effect. So like, let's say you use his effect against your opponent and then it's proceeding to the standby phase. You can actually, when he activates his effect in standby phase, you can actually, like, I think you could do it in either draw phase or standby phase. So however you do it, there's a way where you can get 2 pops and only have to sacrifice 1 card. Ultimately, you mainly just want to pop your field spell and then just recur from grave off the field spell's effect. Other interactions with Sergio where you can make him free is when he's resolving his effect that's mandatory to destroy a card you control. You could chain a card like Call by the Grave or the defeat, which is gonna probably compulse him so you can normal him again. Then was basically resolving it, you could just destroy whatever card you chain to his effect. So you make it pretty much free. He's really strong, you guys. Like, he's like, this card by itself does so much work for you. Just like, he's like a 1-card combo. If you open Sergio and any Evil Eye card in your hand, and you think about like how many you play like what, 10, 12, 13, 16, 19, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, that's a lot. Like, Sergio is just super strong, you guys. Like, this card is exceptional. Next up, I do actually max out on Medusas. I know some people just think this is a 1 of or 2 of. No, this card, like, the problem with this deck is when you don't open an Evil Eye monster, you just can't play. All your spells and traps are dead. Literally, everything that's not field spells dead. The equips, the special summon monster, any of the removal cards, the traps, they're all dead if you don't control an Evil Eye monster. So for you to rely solely on just like hoping you draw the field spell or Sergio every time is just like it's not gonna happen. One thing I like about Medusa too is that she's actually a DD Crow. When she's equipped with Celine, she targets a monster in your opponent's graveyard, quick effect, and banishes it. And it's mandatory during the next standby. They all have that kind of drawback where you pay for their effect being so strong as normal summons. And the other boss monsters, you pay for them during your standby by doing some mandatory action that sometimes benefits you. The banish card, you could banish literally imperm of, terraforming of called by. It's really not that bad, but this card against decks like Burning Abyss, Phantom Knights, Orcas, even the new Sacred Beast cards, any graveyard eccentric decks, she's really strong against those because you get a DD Crow as a quick effect, so that means on my turn and on your turn. So if you play Orcas, for example, you can DD Crow them on their turn, and then on your turn, if they have a Babel up, so he's going to be pretty hard to deal with. If they have a Babel up and they try to activate Skeleton, you could just chain her to banish the target off Skeleton. And also, with the new ruling of cards having to stay in the grave where they resolve, I'm not sure if you guys knew this new ruling, but let's say an effect of a monster activates in the graveyard and I DD Crow it. That will not be able to resolve. It's some weird ruling that I learned about that somebody was sharing with me, where basically now the monsters or whatever card it is has to, I think it's mainly monsters, just have to stay in the grave where they're trying to resolve or where they're activating. Otherwise, they can't resolve. So she actually can negate monster effects now. Because if it's like, let's just say, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody told me that ruling and it's not a real ruling and it's just made up, please correct me because I don't want to think, it is when it's not. But correct me if I'm wrong, she could even banish Block Dragon from the grave and his effect won't resolve because of this weird new ruling that Konami made up. So she's like way stronger than it looks like on pen and paper. Like she's the next strongest normal summon. And honestly, she's just as good as Sergio in your terms of just like top decking after turn 1. Especially because you have so many one-up spells and traps in your deck. Sergio can't search a second copy because you only play one. So she's stronger as a normal summon than him oftentimes. But these are the two strongest normal summons in your deck. I do play the familiars. I play one Catablepos or Catablepis. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, sorry. Don't go anal on me. So Catablepis, Familiar of the Evil Eye. So this guy he's pretty neat. I like having him in hand for the combos that I do with Gorgon Eye, because you just discard him for Gorgon Eye to just search, and then you special summon him back from the graveyard, which is super strong. He's like an extender, and also something else that's really cool with him as a one-up though, like it's not really, I don't really like him in multiples. I prefer the other Familiar, which is way stronger, is you could target your Selene of Evil Eye, or your Evil Eye Selene, and now it can't be targeted. So like basically he could target Evil Eye Spell Trap you control until the end of the next turn. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, my bad. So it can still be targeted, but like since it can't be destroyed, now it's harder because the monster that it's equipped to can't be targeted by card effects, destroyed by card effects, or destroyed by battle. That's like a super duper strong lock. That's like when you make Avermax with IP Masquerena. It's like that strong. And then his recursion, he banishes himself after he leaves the field, but he's just like a nice one-up. This card's insane. Like Basilius, I don't know why people would play any less than 3. This card is insane by itself. It's a starter. Like this card plus any Evil Eye card in your hand searches out dang near your entire deck. Like literally he's a Foolish Burial, and he's an extender. Like this card's absolutely a gas 3-up, because even when your Sergio gets Imperm, Veiled, or Ash, you follow up with him, special him, use his effect to dump Gorgon, use Gorgon, pitch an Evil Eye card in your hand, and you search what you were trying to search off Sergio in the first place. So you play through the hand trap, you get your extender on board, and then you can follow up. You can follow up by making the Gorgon right here, the Gorgon Empress. Kingston, chill out. You can make the Gorgon Empress, and like this card is crazy. We'll talk about when we get there, but yeah, 3 Basilius. This card is like literally, like, going first, it's a better normal summon than Medusa, but like she's still super duper strong, you guys. Like these are the 2 cards. If you're not going to your extra deck, these are what you want to equip off Selene. So I played 10 Evil Eye monsters, as you guys can see, because it's really important to open them. And then for the hand traps, I play Kingston. For the hand traps, I play 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Ghost Ogres. Ghost Ogres is actually a super strong meta call. Like it didn't seem to be good before, but it's actually always been like a really decent hand trap, even against like combo decks, like especially against Adamantivator. Just removing the cards from the board is actually super duper strong for you. So 3 Ash, 3 Ogres, and I played 3 Imperms. I main deck 9 hand traps, and then I side in the 3 Nibiru so I could play 12, which is pretty solid for me. And then I played the 1 Evil Eye Reemergence. So this card, like, sometimes I want to play more of it because this card's super duper strong. Like, this deck is really good, you guys. But like this card right here, it's basically a token generator. Something else that's really nice is like you have to control an Evil Eye monster, so even the token itself can be used for your back rows. So like if you control an Evil Eye, you can activate any of these. Like the token is, You could even equip the token with Evil Eye of Selene, honestly, if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just like it's an Evil Eye monster is the main point. And also, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot target Evil Eye spells or traps you control with card effects this turn. That's like a decent graveyard effect, but most importantly, when you have Evil Eye Selene in your spell trap zone, you special 2 tokens instead. So like when you have Cerzio or anything that's equipped, you activate this, that's a free Gorgon right there. So then you equip Gorgon when you, like basically with your good hand, you can have Cerzio and Gorgon equipped with Selene, and now you have a Trident for special summon monsters, you have a monster negate, and any of the traps that you search off of your Cerzio or your Gorgon Eye combos. Because typically, whenever I resolve Cerzio, I always go for Basilius, because Basilius puts an extra body on field, and it lets me dump Gorgon so I can keep going even further, extend my combo. Because like I don't play it like a Guru deck anymore. I can combo off if I want, or I can play it like a Guru deck if I want to. It's up to me. So like these are just really strong. Like you could actually turn 1 summon the Link 3. Like, which is actually really powerful, and this card like lets you OTK. You guys will see in my replays that I OTK'd with this card on follow-ups. This card's super strong. Like the ruler, this guy is crazy, you guys. Like he's really strong. And like with the zones, oh man, I can't wait to get to extra deck. So the reemergence is a very powerful one up. It's recurable off of Medusa as well. So like you just keep the 1, and the same with the 1 awakening. The problem with a lot of these cards is even though they're really strong, you have to control an Evil Eye. So you don't want to play too many of them and then hard draw a bunch of them when you don't have an Evil Eye yet. Like, so you just kind of play them all as 1-ofs that you could search off Cerzio. Later on in the game, you add them back off Medusa, and you just keep reusing them that way. So the Awakening special summons from the hand or grave, it doesn't target, and if Selene's in your spell or trap zone, you special from your deck. You can special from your deck instead. So typically, you're going to get out whatever you didn't need, like whatever you didn't have. For example, to extend your combos, you can get out Catoblepis. I'm just gonna say that, it's hard to pronounce. Catoblepis, you can special him from your deck, link him off, use his effect, special summon, link again, so you link climb twice. And then you could even just go Medusa to bring this back from your graveyard, so you could just have it whenever you need. Because this card is so strong, it actually reborns your Link 2 and your Link 3. That's why it's really nice to recur this off of Medusa in your mid to late game. You just normal Medusa at this from grave, and then you just recur your Link 3, equip it with Selene, and you didn't even have to work for it. So it's like, it's crazy. The 3 Fool's Barrel Goods, it's for consistency. This is like a terraforming, or it's like another Cerzio basically, because even if it doesn't search the monsters, because like this searches spells and traps, the field spell searches monsters. So like goods just increases your consistency. You could cut this for hand traps, but I noticed the major problem with this deck is when you don't draw an Evil Eye monster, you can't really play. And if you draw like a Medusa turn 1 or this turn 1, these aren't really going to get you too far to set up. The best you could do is just hope that your opponent is going to be harmed by a DD Crow. So like you just really need to max out consistency cards. So consistency cards are going to be the 3 Fool's Barrel Goods, the 3 Extravagance, the Terraforming, and the 3 Field Spells, and the 3 Cerzio. So you have 3, 6, 9, 10, 13 consistency cards, plus this actually counts if only you have an Evil Eye card in your hand, so technically it's 16. So the deck has a fair amount of starters. Extravagance is a starter, Fool's Barrel Goods is a starter, Field Spell is a starter, Cerzio is a starter. This is a starter only if you have an Evil Eye card in your hand, because that's how the equip works. You have to discard an Evil Eye card. But it's really strong because you're going to get your Field Spell, and then the Field Spell gets popped, and you just add back whatever you lost. So it's like everything pays for itself. But I play Extravagance because this deck rarely goes in this extra deck. Like the only time I go into is if I summon the Link 2 or the Link 3. I kind of just have the extra deck just there. You could even play like Super Poly if you really just wanted to. Like and have a bunch of Super Poly targets. But like 3 Extravagance is really strong in this deck. Like it's super duper strong. And then the Terraforming for my 3 Field Spells. The 3 Called by the Graves. Because like if the only starter I have in my hand is the Field Spell or Cerzio, and they have Ash, I could just lose automatically. Like if they have Ash for the, like if you open Field Spell and Cerzio, and they have like Ash and Imperm, but you have Evil Eye Selene, then basically they Ash the Field Spell, Imperm this, and then you can still equip Selene to it, so you have an interruption that's protected. So like there's hands, you guys will even see in the replay, I got triple hand trap. Tingy player used 3 hand traps against me and I still beat him. So the deck's kind of cool, you know. It's like, it's not really weak deck when I start playing it. You know, as you guys see, I'm experimenting with different decks that nobody plays, because I'm like a rogue duelist more or less. Like I just like rogue decks, like, and that's the channel, that's mostly what you guys are going to see. But 3 callbacks are really important. The 1 confrontation, it's basically going to be a Cyclone when you have Selene, or an MST when you don't. Because it's searchable and recurable, you want to always keep one in your main deck, because this card is just super duper handy, super clutch against the Numeron deck, against generators, Mystic Mine, things of that nature. You always want to have a main deck out to Mystic Mine. I play 3 Gorgons and also 3 Selines. Like, I absolutely max out on these cards, because you have to, like, to get the best effects out of this deck, you need Selene in your spell trap zone, or you'll need it equipped to something for them to get their best effects. Like for Medusa, for Zerziel, and for Gorgon Empress, you have to have them equipped to get their best effects. Then the Field Spell Domain, this card's actually super strong. I got game against somebody because they didn't read this card, because he tried to attack me and I inflicted the damage to him too, and his life points were less than mine, and he ended up getting killed by attacking into my monster. But this card on activation adds an Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. During damage calculation, if an Evil Eye monster is attacked while Evil Eye Selene's in your spell trap zone, you can make the battle damage you take from this battle also inflicted to your opponent. And if this card is destroyed by a card effect in the field spell zone, you can target an Evil Eye monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You destroy this off of Zerziel, so you can get free real estate basically. I play 1 defeat in the main. This card, you just have to main at least one of those traps. Mesmerism's kind of iffy because the attack has to be less than, but defeat is crazy. So what you can do with this, you can actually loop this too, because you can just keep recurring it off Medusa. And because while you have Evil Eye Selene, it's a double compulse, so what you end up doing is, normally if you don't have to target 2 of your opponent's monsters, you could target one of your opponent's monsters and like one of your like Medusas or Zerziels, bounce them to your hand, so next turn you can normal summon it again and just keep playing. Like you can even do it with Medusa, where you just normal Medusa at this back, set it, and then flip it, bounce, and you just keep recurring over and over. So it's like a little loop, it's cool. Then the 3 Emperors, like I was saying, and I mained the 1 Retribution. This card is super strong because this deck can lose to Evenly Matched and Lightning Storm fairly easily. Another thing is, you want a main deck out, so like any of your floodgates that you side in games 2 and 3, you want to make sure that you have Retribution to protect them. So super strong to main deck this, because if you go first, you don't want to get blown out by anything crazy going first, especially when you go first against the new Numeron deck. That deck, I have some replays against it. That deck's like crazy. But 1 Retribution. Once you have Evil Eye Selene, your opponent basically can't Judgment or Red Reboot this card. It can be negated. Even though it's already a counter trap, it's basically going to be like spell speed 4. Like, it's crazy. The extra deck, these don't matter. Access Code, Unicorn, and Phoenix do not matter at all. These are the only cards I really like summon. Like, a rare occasion do I summon other things. Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. This card includes, it's 2 monsters including an Evil Eye monster. Gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your grave. This card gets big. If it's equipped with Selene, it's basically a quick effect imperm. You can target an effect monster your opponent controls, quick effect, negate its effects until the end of this turn. And then also during your next standby, destroy 1 monster this card points to. When you go second, you can literally link this card to one of your opponent's monsters and then negate one of their other monsters. Try to kill whatever you can during their standby phase. You're going to destroy the monster it was equipped to. So this also helps you to break boards going second, just by literally hard linking this to point to your opponent's monsters. So like, you gotta be careful with this deck where you're summoning your monsters in the zones. Same with Zerziel. I did misplay. I played against Team CLG earlier. He was testing Drytrons while I was testing Evil Eyes, and I was supposed to summon this pointing to his ritual monster, the DRA, because this card doesn't target. And basically, I should have popped, and then on my next, during his standby, during the next standby, I can negate the effect of that ritual monster because he's pointing to it and it doesn't target, and it's permanently negated forever. This card's also a Trident for any card on the field, and in addition to that, it's just any card, doesn't have to be face up, and in addition to that, it can make a second attack during each battle phase if it's basically if it was link summon using a monster with 2600 attack or higher as material. That's really easy because typically you use a Zerziel that was equipped with Selene, and then you make this, then you use Selene's effect from grave to set it and then re-equip it to him, and it's just like you go for game off that. For the side deck, which is definitely going to change, I'm going to put in Dark Ruler No More. Probably cut the Cyclones because you don't have too much of a hard time against back rows, but I played the 3 Nibiru's. The second Confrontation, the second Retribution, and the second Defeat. Like, these cards are super good when you go first. Hard drawing them is not bad, so like I actually like siding these. But these are the blowout cards right here that make this deck really, really strong going first. Is you can side in 3 summon limits and 3 there can only be 1s with your Zerziel and your hand traps, which is crazy. You can even just hard summon Gorgon turn 1. and then just flip that there can only be one in the summon limit. But oftentimes it's better to go Sergio first, because whenever you want to turn off any one of these, you can just pop them with Sergio, and then you can go combo off to OTK your opponent, so the game doesn't have to stretch out to be longer. So this is the side deck right now, but I want to put in Dark Rulers, because like when you go against the Rock deck or any heavy combo deck that doesn't FTK you do play 9 hand traps, which these 6 right here actually stop the Numeron cards, the Zexalock. But like when you're going second against the Rock deck, this deck can break that board. You just Dark Roller no more, and then you can just go, you know, into your power cards like Sergio, Field Spell Extravagance, Foolish Barrel Goods, you know, Basilius, and you just use Sergio to pop 1. You search out the token generator, make 2 tokens. You link into her, then you use her effect to negate 1 monster effect. Then you link her and this into Sergio. Like you basically get to pick the board apart, like pop. And what's really cool is when this deck like opens really strong, you can actually make both of these. How you do it is when you make this, you link it off into Sergio, and then you bring her back off of Awakening, make her point to your opponent's monster, like their Appaloosa, for example, that's under like I don't know, Dark Roller no more, and then you just smack their board. You use Sergio to pop another card. You attack, and then you just have your back rows. So like if you have Goods or like Basilius, which you normally will, because Sergio can search those cards, you end up just getting defeat. So that way, basically, so that's why it's really good to keep Gorgon, because then on your opponent's standby, you can just flip defeat on them, and if they have a leftover negator and they try to use it, you can just basically chain Gorgon to negate that. And the reason why you'll be able to go into your extra deck is because even though they're on the Buster Lock, you just normal Sergio. You can even just search out the Selene, activate it, and then target the Borreload Savage Dragon that's equipped with the Buster, and then just pop it, and you can use your extra deck. So like it's really easy to out the Buster Lock, especially with the Dark Roller no more. Dark Roller no more plus like 3, 6, 7, 10, any one of those 10 cards is just gonna out it. Or if you just have like anything that gets access to these cards too, these are really strong. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go into some replays, because like you guys just have to see this deck. It's really strong. It's really good. Like it caught me off guard because I didn't realize how good this deck was. Like honestly, I want to play it now. So let's go to versus. Okay, here we go. Tri Brigade Gladiator Beast. So this is a game against Tri Brigade Gladiator Beast. So you guys see his opening hand is super strong. He has Comeback, Die, Andal, Arturix, and he also has Naval, which like, okay, his hand is just like gas. My hand, I have Imperm, Double Ogre, I have Gorgono, and I have Claw Bite. So I have no actual combo pieces. I only have cards to stop his combo. So pressing play, you guys are going to see how it plays out. I hold my Imperm. As soon as I see Andal, I let him do certain things. Like I let the Tri-Brigade stuff slide. Like his effect, the Ceres, I don't Imperm it because I'm like, bro, I know the Glacius. Like I'm gonna Imperm Test Panther. That's the biggest threat. So I Imperm Test Panther. He activates that link, and then I Ghost over it to decrease his link materials that he could use. And then he goes to another Test Panther. He goes into Ondo. He Test Panthers the Ondo to bring out Augustus, and he passes. He could have made Appaloosas, but honestly, it's better to keep this for follow-ups. Because as you see, I still didn't get any combo pieces. Instead, I top deck into a Selene. So I called by the Grave Disc because he activated it from hand. And then he tried to Test Panther, I Ghost over it. He summons Bestiari, and this is where I'm super happy. Because I set the Gorgon as a bait knowing that he plays Bestiari. So I'm hoping that he can use his Bestiari, and he does. So he gave me my combo piece I need. You see attacks into Darius, goes into Arturix. Arturix dumped for cost, which is crazy. It dumps for cost. And then I top deck Extravagance. I already have a way to search my field spell because this searches, but then Extravagance makes it even better. So my hand's just insane now. So like my hand traps simplified the game state, as you guys see, and now I take full control. I search defeat because I know I can flip it on him against his turn, and I already have it. Like you guys see, Basilisk, this card's insane. Then I go into Gorgon. I equip Selene with Gorgon because like I feel like Gorgon's stronger than Sergio since I already have defeat to clear his monsters. So then I negate the Link Rebuild, declare an attack, it's negated. I hit his Arturix, and then I pass, having defeat, and this, I have basically 2 interruptions and a follow-up, which is going to be really nice. So he scooped it up there, then going to game 2, pause. This dude, like, did not open good. Like, he's playing way too many Noxious. Like, this card is like a 1-up to me, but he has Nibiru, but the thing is, The other thing with this deck is this deck does not really have to play into Nibiru. If you play into Nibiru, it's a choice, but you don't need to play into Nibiru to get out your negates or your disruptors, especially because your stuff comes from the back row too. And he has the Buster Lock, which doesn't really do much against my deck, which is very unfortunate. But you guys see, he breaks. So he goes into die. One thing I can say is he can normal summon the Buster to go on a Test Panther, but he just ended it. So I was just like, dang, like I didn't even get to play. And you guys saw my hand, I had triple hand trap. But here's the game. Oh wait, is this against Zombie? Okay, this is against Zombie. I'm wondering what's going on with this. Pause. What the heck? This one was against Zombie. Oh heck no, he has double Dark Roller, Storming, Soft Tear, Instant Fusion. I don't even want to show that replay. Heck no. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's go against one against Tinyi. He triple hand trapped me and then he scooped. So let's go pause. You see I have Terraforming. I have Call By, so like my Call By cut off one of his 3 hand traps, but he had 2 more hand traps. So I go into Domain. Need I mind you, Ghost Mourner is not that good against this deck because I can just normal summon Sergio and Ghost Mourner is ineffective. But I normal Sergio, he imperms it. This is the interaction I was talking about where remember how I was saying if this gets ashed. Now even if this, like let's say I had this in hand in the first place because this is at 3 and this is at 3, and he ashed this, then he impermed this. Having this in hand, basically what I was trying to say is when this gets interrupted and this gets interrupted, having this in hand makes it an extender and it also puts follow-ups for you. So because he imperms this, I can't search, but really I can because I can use Basilius to dump this, pitch that, and then search what I wanted to search in the first place. You guys see I search Awakening for a follow-up. I'm not going to actually use it this turn just to be safe because I can only search spells and trap. And I know that I can search the Domain, but honestly what I can do here is I can also make the Link 3 or I can make the Link 2. So like there's just a lot of plays I can do, and what I like about Awakening is Awakening can reborn the Basilisk too, and also with Celine I can just summon from deck. So like if my board doesn't get broken, this is a stronger follow-up, but I chose to go for Awakening because also I can link climb. Like right here is the interaction I was talking about where I can link these 2 into the Link 2 and then link her and this off into the Link 3, then activate this and reborn the Link 2. But the only thing is I can only equip one Celine to them. But you guys see that this deck can spam. Like it can spam a lot. Even without the token generator. Without the token generator, this hand would be just gas. So I go in the Gorgon. He Ghost Mourners it, which I'm like, alright, fine, whatever. So I just equip Celine and pass. He has Ashina, the 1-card combo. I play Tinyi, so this is absolutely a 1-card combo. He goes in a Monk. Then I noticed that he actually read my cards because he goes Vishuddha targeting Celine. I'm like, oh, you read it. Bro, you read it. Then he goes Shaman, discards the Celestial Illusion Cycle card, whatever it's called. Gets his field spell, and then he goes into Berserker. Pause. This man should have just used Shaman, basically declared an attack with Shaman. I mean, not Shaman, but the Monk, and then use Shaman to basically pop this right here, to just get it out the way. And main phase 2 went into this. Like, he got damaged. Like, honestly, I like to take advantage of Shaman. Like, I really do. I like to take advantage of Shaman's spot removal. Because also keep in mind that the Monk could have popped my field spell too. Or it could have popped this. Like, not saying that that was actually smart to do. But I just like to use Shaman. That's just me as a Tinyi player. I like to use Shaman's spot removal before I get rid of her. I try to get the most. Basically, get the most I can get out of Shaman before I link her off. Is really what I'm saying. So, pause. She smacks that. And then you guys see my top deck is Medusa. This card's crazy after turn 1. You guys do see I have Awakening. I have Celine in my hand. So like this card, also me leaving it on field because I could have summoned the Link 3. Remember that. I could have summoned the Link 3 and brought back the Link 2, but I chose to just leave it like that because I know if Basilius stays alive, this card's just another Rhoda for the deck. So play. I'm going to do my stuff kind of conservative. I'm not going to start special summoning effect monsters till I get rid of the field spell. So I search my field spell, activate it, get a Sergio, normal Sergio, and then I go for a Confrontation. Then I activate Confrontation, pop, then I special summon off Awakening because I don't want my opponent to draw any cards. I go into Sergio, then I equip Celine to him because I know how good he is against the Tinyi deck. And then I just pop the Berserker, knowing that he doesn't have blue engrave or red. And then I just smack for 31, pass. I have control now. Like this card, it's mandatory. It's not really going to negate anything, but it just has to happen. He had the Avarice in his hand the whole time, so he's actually really nice. You guys see he's going to draw into a blue and a green Tinyi. So like, he can make a Shaman play, but the problem is I have the out to it, so he kind of just loses at that point. like it's sad. So replay's over. So like triple hand trap, you guys. Let me go against OCG Orchists. OCG Orchis, this was a cool duel because like he got to play all these cards that like we just don't have right now, and also certain cards that aren't legal for us. He has Imperm, Judgment. You can tell he's an OCG player because I think OCG players in Japan, they do play, like they play a lot of traps in their Orcus decks. And he has Crossout Designator. We still don't have this card. So he has Crossout, he has Judgment, he has Imperm. He could have set this and it would have been more insane. And he has Skeleton. It's like his hand's not that great right now, but look at his top deck. His top deck's hardcore. So pressing play. I have Sergio and I have Goods, so like I'm just gonna go Gorgon, pitch Gorgon, because Gorgon is next turn as a follow-up, and I normal Sergio, and then he jumps in Sergio. I activate Awakening. This is why it's nice to play Awakening. Then I Confrontation to target the Imperm. After I did, so now he can't Imperm my Basilisk. I dump Celine now. I banish the Awakening, set it, and then I link in a Gorgon because I know I'm playing against Orcus. Now I can negate, for example, the Galatea, which is super strong. And on top of that, I have Call By, and this card's like literally, it's like almost like an FTK against this deck. So he tops deck Harp, and then I just immediately Call By the Harp, and then he crossouts. I'm like, okay, cool, bet. Now he can go Harp. In the Girsu, activate Girsu's effect. I chain Gorgon, target it to negate. Boom, it's over. And then Celine's gonna boost mandatory, and I win that one. Not really that I was gonna win. I don't think. Well, look, no, because I don't really know what my top deck was. I think ultimately it was just like he just didn't want to play it out because like I don't know. Because Skeleton could have. Well, yeah, I see why he scooped. There really wasn't any follow up there that couldn't be stopped. Game two, man, like you guys swap. Look at his hand. So I'm gonna say that I really goofed up in game two. I was halfway paying attention, halfway not. And I was holding my Imperm, and then when he summoned Girsu, and I didn't really like, I was like, oh wait, why didn't I Imperm that? I basically let him resolve Girsu with an Imperm in hand, and like obviously, you know, when you pay attention, you know that you can't activate Imperm if you control any cards. So it's like I didn't like. I don't know where my brain was, basically. Like, my Imperm was going to stop his entire combo. It's like, if you guys look at this, so he goes hard, summon Girsu. This is where I Imperm. So, where I Imperm Girsu, it's not going to stop his entire combo, but basically I Imperm Girsu. Now he has to normal effect Veiler, make Galatea, shuffle, and then set either Crescendo or the Field Spell. If he sets the Field Spell, like, it's not going to do anything. If he sets Crescendo, like, it's just going to get baited by Extravagance, more than likely. Like, which is insane. So like the Imperm, for me, I should have done it. Look what happened, because like I just wasn't paying attention, you guys. I was not. Like, I don't know where my mind was in this duel, because now that I look at it, I'm like, bro, why didn't I do this? If I had focus, I would have just Impermed the Girsu. But anyways, he has full combo, but it gets worse because this is OCG Orcus, so he doesn't just do Orcus combos. He summons out Red Eyes Dragoon, or Dragoon of the Red Eyes. Activate Babel. Like you guys see, he's just comboing off. Hardcore is legal for them. So Orcus are like legit, they're meta in the OCG. He goes into IP off his Veiler and his drones. Like this guy is just cutting up right now. Now I can activate Imperm like it really matters. So as you guys see, I top deck another Extravagance, which sucks because you can't use more than one. Just at the start of your main phase, he chains Harp immediately. Girsu's effect, I chain Ash, and then I chain Imperm targeting the IP. Trying to force the IP out right now, hoping that he was going to use Dragoon against it, but he didn't. But I'm like, dang, you know, I'd rather force the IP out now so he can't unicorn my normal summon, because if he unicorns my normal summon, it's ugly. Then you guys see, I'm trying to play, so like, let me go ahead and pause, and then let me go previous. I am trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh right now, you guys. Like, you guys see, I'm really trying to play. Like, I'm hoping that I can bait something. It's like, I don't have like the strongest hand. As you guys see, I don't have Field Spell or Sergio, but remember I told you guys how strong of a normal summon this is. So it's like I have plays and I drew another Imperm. It's like, so Imperms just tell me something. It's like, bro, why didn't you use me? Now I'm gonna give you a second one. But it's like, dude, it doesn't matter because you can't Imperm this. You have to use the Imperm as a way to bait this out, and he wasn't doing it. It's like he was too smart. But I have Awakening in my hand and Celine. So like this card, if he negates it with the Dragoon, I could still bring it back off of the Awakening, but it's not going to accomplish too much. So I really have to, like, I'm at his, like, it's really at his discretion whenever he wants to. Then I go Basilisk, I dump Gorgonite, I pitch Salim. Then, you guys see, I search out Emergence. I'm going to activate Emergence, and then I'm going to summon a token. So my plan is to trigger Trisbania to banish this Babel. And I see that Trisbania says if a monster special summons to his own, discard coins, use banish as many of those monsters as possible. So also what I was thinking, I was really thinking that it was going to banish his Gearsu. I was really like slow for that. So that was a slow moment for me. But I was also trying to get rid of his Babel, like banish it forever. Like thinking maybe that will bait Dragoon. You guys see, I'm trying, man. I don't have much of a good hand. So I activate Emergence, get my token, link those into Gorgonite. Then I activate Awakening, and I basically summon the Basilisk there to the Trisbania zone, knowing it's going to trigger Trisbania mandatory. And he's like, nope, I'm just going to let that resolve. And then I go Celine, and then he's like, no. And I'm like, dang. So I just crashed, and I'm like, dude, this is game over. Like, I didn't even want to set the Imperm, because like, I could just play it from hand, honestly. And then he Dragoons the Imperm, and I'm like, wow, dang, this is it. This is over. Look at the damage. He has lethal. So, yeah, OCG Orcus, they slap. Like, they slap. Let's see, swap, pause. I sided in Lancia, as you can see. I opened Cerzio, but he has Ash. I have Called By, but he has Imperm. So, I'm wondering, I think he actually Imperms the Cerzio. And I just have to equip Gorgiano to him and set the Retribution and the Call By and just pass. So swapping. Man, I wish he would have ashed that Cerzio, but he's not dumb. He's a smart player. He's like, I'm going to imperm that, save the ash for your field spell, or like Desires or something. So I just equip that. I set my 2 back rows and pass. So he normals Bombard, goes into Link Revo. Then I go into Lancia. I'm like, no, Lancia right now, stop it from happening. And then I Celine to pop the Link Revo. And then I also go to Call By the Bombard. And I really should have held my Call By. Because I'm like, dang, whatever he's trying to summon, you know, like, dang, like, I should have just held the Call By for whatever he's trying to summon, whatever Orcus could have been hard for. And I asked the Gearsu, but like, dude, this is where it gets really problematic. Because I taught a Cerzio before he kills my Cerzio to target the token he just triggers into Revo. He goes into Verta Anaconda. Now I'm top decking and I just like, I lose. And I top deck a Lancia of all cards. So passing back to him, he's got control, going to Skeleton. I'm like, Lancia, he's like, no, Dragoon. I'm like, dang, I'm losing here. This is it. This is over. It's game. What's my next top deck? Ooh, Field Spell. But guess what? He has Ash, and then he's probably going to have 2 more negates. So OCG Orcus, they smacked me. And then here's a game against Numeron. Like, this deck's crazy, you guys. So, swap. So as you guys can see, like, his hand, this is also, again, OCG. I was playing against, like, OCG players, which is actually more of a challenge because they have some super broken cards, like Crossout Designator, Droplet, Dragoon of the Red Ice, you know, all these cards that we don't have. Like, we just don't have them. Like, so you see he has Forbidden Droplets and Called By. He has Terraforming, which means that's a network. He has Limit Removal, which means he can OTK me. And he has Pathfinder, which is another network. This dude's build is interesting. He's like, I'm not playing about my Numeron network. Like, I have a way to get networked. And, like, if you are trying to negate my network or hand trap it, I have 2 outs. So, press and play. Open Extravagance. Extravagance normally always draws me something nice. I go Cerzio, Field Spell into Basilius. I normally do that. That's the thing I do a lot with this deck. And then Basilius, dump Gorgon. And then Gorgon, dump Medusa. And then I just go Celine, equip to him. Activate Emergence. And I choose 1 token to play around Nibiru. Because you see, this is 3 summons. That's my 4th summon. Then I equip Celine to him. And then pause. So now, you guys see, I have my perfect opening. I have Cerzio to pop, Gorgon to negate, and I have defeat. So I have double compulse, negate, and pop. But this guy is playing Numerons. So it's like, these interruptions, you guys are going to see. So he goes Terraforming. He goes in a network. He activates the effect. I chain Ghost Ogre. He chains Called By. Guess what else he does? He uses Forbidden Droplet. Watch, you'll see. He uses Forbidden Droplet. And guess what? Now, these are negated. And it's like, dang, I activate their effects anyways, and then I defeat because, like, I was thinking that Celine would still trigger to boost them, and I was right. Celine still triggers to boost him. Because, like, even though they were negated, they still activated. So I boost them up a little bit, you know, and then you guys are going to see, like, he's still trying to OTK me. Well, not OTK me, he was trying to. He had Limit Removal. I used the Field Spell to make him take some of the damage I would take, which is crazy. And then he passes. Like, he passes because he can't summon Zexal. Zexal requires 3, and I double compulse 2 of them. So I still have control. So, like, you guys can see, and now I can just smack him for heavy damage. So I go boom, boom. I win. I didn't even normal Medusa. I didn't even get flashy. I'm like, this is game. So then game 2, same thing. Swap, pause. So you guys are seeing like Evil Eye. This deck is like really good. Like it's a really, really strong deck. Once like, cause I think he won the dice roll and he made me go first. So I decided like, okay, I think he decided to go first, or maybe I did. I'm trying to remember, but he sided in Scolding. He has Droplet, Cyclone, and Call by. So his hand's very reactive, but he has no combo pieces. What's his top deck? Wow, a network, of course, of all cards. It's like his top deck is nice. He just has to survive. So pressing play. He's obviously probably just going to set that because he can't set any of these. That's the unfortunate thing about Scolding, is that if he sets all these, he has to activate all these before he can activate Scolding, which could be a little weird for him. So he's forced to set only one. I go Extravagance. He doesn't stop it. I think he wants to save his one negate for my normal summon. I normal Sergio. He Scoldings it. I think he learned from game 1 how good Sergio is. I set defeat and pass. I only have Ash in hand. Then he Cyclones my defeat, which sucks. Then he goes Network, and here's where it gets kind of ugly. Alternate runs. He smacks me for 4K first before he goes into Zexal. But this guy was not playing around Nibiru, like game 1 or 2. He was like really reckless with it. And then he said double call by and drop late, and then he Zexals me, and I can't imperm from hand because I have my field spell. I control a card, so it would have been super nice. And then you see he top decks Memory of Hope. Like I'm like, dang, dude. So he activates Zexal. I chain imperm, targeting it and then negate it. So now I can actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! Then I activate Extravagance. My action doesn't really matter too much. I still got Zerzio in there, or Zerzio. And then I activate Medusa, he droplets her. So I'm like, dang. So then I activate Awakening, he called by my Zerzio. I'm like, dang. So now I just special summon Basilisk on a Gorgon and then equip Gorgon Eye to her. Like, I'm like, dang. You know, and something else I noticed is like, dang, this is in the column I think this was in the column of Imperm or something like that, because it was negated for some reason. But this is the best I can do, is to go into her and basically just hold the Ash. So like, if he summons out another what's that card called? If he summons another Zexal, at least I can chain her effect to it. And then also with these, she can't be destroyed by battle, and their effects, they have effects, so I can use her on one of them so that it doesn't go from 1,000 to 2,000 to 4,000. It'll only go up to 2,000. So I'm like, I'm Gucci. So press and play. He summons 4. Then he activates Hope. He has the call by for my Ash. He draws 4 cards. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at his hand. He has 4 cards. Limit removal. Like, bro. So this is really funny. He had game, but because my life points were higher than his, look what he did. He had 1,600 life points. This is what I was talking about my deck profile about this field spell. This field spell killed him. He did have game, and I probably wasn't going to survive. But because this field spell is so good and my deck is actually nice, look what happened. He took 1,800 damage, so he lost the duel. Even though he had full control over it, you guys. So I got game 2. Which that was it. So he got 2-0'd. I have another duel against Numeron and Generator Numeron, and then Generators, and against Mechanites. So you guys see, I'm gonna go to the game against Team COG. You guys see, I got to play against him. We were talking the whole time. He told me he was gonna upload this to his channel too. So let me exit, see if it reloads real quick. Click. There we go. So this is my opening hand. You guys see, he has Emergency and Senju, which are basically like his only starters. Like, other than that, he's living on the top deck of, wait a minute. Is that another Senju or Manju? Okay, he's top deck at Manju. So, like, these are the only 2 starters in his hand. Other than that, he's going to activate this, tribute this to summon Necro, and that's his whole hand gone. My hand's called by Ash, double Basilius, and Sergio. So if he has Imperm for Sergio, I follow up with Basilius. I dump Gorgon, and then use Gorgon, pitch this, and I search whatever I was going to search off Sergio in the first place, because I don't normally use Sergio for monsters ever. I just use him for spells and traps, including the field spell. So press and play. My hand plays through 2 hand traps at least, because call by for 1, and Imperm doesn't hurt Sergio. As you guys see, I go Emergence, I use Basilisk, I dump Celine. You guys see how I dump Celine, right? So continuing, pressing play. Boom, I go into Gorgon Eye. I go into Gorgon Empress, and then I set Celine, activate it, equip it. Boom, set call by, pass. So I chose a different route there, as you guys can see. Like I didn't do go into the field spell because like the field spell can't search other spells and traps. Instead I went for emergence because I wanted to put up Gorgon, and then leaving Basilius is a follow-up, and also it can be converted because like this could still special, or I could just normal this and I can still link off of this. So like my setup is nice because if I survive like with the Ash, the call by, and then negation, you know, my follow-ups, I can just use this to dump and then pitch this, get my field spell, and then normal Cerzio and take control again. So I Ash the emergency, he normals Manju, and I negate it with Gorgon. And then I realize he's playing Drytron, so now I'm like, dude, you literally have to like pitch and then summon a Drytron from hand. And the problem with the Drytrons with Gorgon is I can't negate them once they hit the field. They resolve in hand. So once they hit the field, if I negate them, it's not going to stop the search. So like what I did was smart. I stopped the starters that I actually could stop. I Ashed the emergency because this can search out. When he activated it first, I thought it was Cyber Dragons. I did. I really did. And I'm like, dang. Cyber Dragon can contact, you know, fusion with Gorgon and she's gone. Mega Fleet's there. Boom. But anyways, press and play. Celine Booster. He goes the ritual spell to summon out Unicorn. Then he goes into Phoenix. So like he just was like, bro, I'm trying to take like as much as I can take from you. So he goes into Phoenix. He dumps out his entire hand just to take care of my equip spell. But he draws a card. This is where it gets super nice. He drew into a Drytron. So like this RNG actually paid off for him, and he took the equip spell off of my Gorgon, which actually, you know, it was nice, but I think, you know, because both of us were not too familiar with the decks we're playing against, so I think he didn't know that Celine can recur itself. But nonetheless, like he said when I was talking to him, he was like, I'm fighting, you know, I'm trying, dude, like so he was trying to fight his way through the board. It wasn't like a super tough board, but I think because his hand wasn't as strong, those two interruptions was like all that was needed. But pressing play, I top deck field spell, Gorgon's mandatory, and guess what? Since he co-linked the Phoenix to Gorgon, Gorgon just destroyed it, mandatory. Then I go field spell, I have call by in case he has an Ash. Then I normal Cerzio, I have control now. But check this out, I OTK. So I link into him, and you know how the monster that I linked with had 2600 or more attack? So Cerzio can attack twice now. Then I activate Awakening to bring back my link 2, and then check this out. Then I special Basilius. I dump Celine, the Evil Eye Celine, then I set activated, targeting him. Then I go Battle Phase 26, 22, 400, 26. So it's like, dang, I was so close to game 2. And now that I think of it, if you go pause, even if I summoned a second copy of Cerzio, it was gonna only be 26. So it was like, what I had to do was like, no, there wasn't a way I could do it because I would have to activate another Evil Eye spell trap to boost him. So I needed just a way to boost him for it to be game. But I still end on the Cerzio to pop, and I have the call by, and his deck does play from grave. But then like that was game. So then I go to game 2 right here. This is still the same person, Team COG. Let's exit. All right, then let's go load replay. So swap. So you guys see like the way this deck plays. Like with Evil Eye is it's a control deck, but it's super aggressive. It has nice follow-ups, and it's unconventional. Like Kaijus do wreck this deck. Like that's why games 2 and 3 to play around Kaijus, you do want to actually summon out Gorgon and Cerzio. You do want to search out Emergence or Awakening and just use those, so that when they Kaiju you, you still control an Evil Eye monster, so your back rows aren't turned off. And you guys see his opening hand. He has Manju, Senju, Nova. He has Ben, Alpha, and Unicorn. So like, his hand's actually nice. So I'm gonna press play. I have no hand traps. He's gonna play Solitaire. So Nova into Zeta. Normal Manju. He's gonna search out their boss monster. Their boss monster is crazy. Pitch it for Ben Alpha. Search another one. Bundling Karibo. I think this comes back to haunt him because he pitched one of the boss monsters to search another one. I think it comes back to haunt him because I top deck Call by the Grave. So now I just immediately, because I know what this card does, I read it, so I immediately call by right now because I'm like, I'm gonna call by this because like I know if I wait for him to use his effect, he can banish DRA for cost. Now I can't call by this, so I immediately call by it so that I don't have to play into it. That's like the only eruption I know about. Even though I can't call by a hand trap now, this hurts. Like this hurts a lot more than one hand trap. So then I go Full Scroll Goods, dump Gorgon, Pitch Gorgon, search my field spell. So Push Barrel Goods is a terraforming, like I was telling you guys. That's why I played 3. And like it maximizes consistency. This deck, like I said, the weakness of the Evil Eye is like when you don't have an Evil Eye monster. So play it. Then I normal Sergio. You guys see I search out Basilius like I normally do. I equip this to him so that I can get a pop right now. And then I forget, like, no, never mind, I called by that. I was gonna say I forget this can't be targeted by monster effects, but his effects are negated. Then I dump Basilius. Use Basilius to dump the regular Evil Eye Celine, the OG one. Then I link in a Gorgon, pressing play. Then I set the Celine, equip it to her. Negate Link Revo. Boost her. Then I declare an attack on Manju. He Link Revos anyways. And then I smack over the Manju, and then I set the counter trap, and then I pass. I could have easily went Awakening, but I just hold my follow-ups, because it's like my only follow-up right now. And plus, like, I need an Evil Eye card just in case I want to use this. So, I Retribution his ritual spell, you guys can see. He can obviously add it from grave to hand if he really wanted to. So, he's going to pitch to do his Delta. It sucks that I can't use Gorgon on that. You guys see, he's comboing off right now, like... This deck, the way Drytons work, because like they're graveyard oriented, it's crazy. I chain her anyways, knowing that the Celine's gonna boost her to 39, so I'm not really taking that much. Like it's like, dude, this monster's huge. Like I do use the field spell to make him take 100 damage. I top deck Called By, so I activate her effect again to put her at 44. See how I held the Awakening? Now I can use it to search the field spell. That's why I didn't activate Awakening that turn, because I told you guys that's my only follow-up, so I did it really smart. And then I immediately Called By to force him to use his effect now. And this can't be targeted, so he can only hit the field spell and the equip. Then I just go into Medusa off the field spell. I grab my Awakening again, smack, go into Zerzio, Awakening her back, and then equip Celine. So this is where my misplay was that cost me the game that I was telling you guys about in the profile. This Zerzio was supposed to be here, and she was supposed to be here pointing to this zone. The reason being is because what I do is I basically activate Zerzio now, pop Senju while he's pointing to this. During my standby phase, I basically have, you know, Zerzio mandatory during his standby, mandatory negate this forever. I called by, didn't I call by it? Or am I tripping? Yeah, I called by it. No, I didn't call by. I tried to call by, he chain banished, so it's not called by right now. So basically what happens is I pop this, during my standby, he has to use this immediately because it's going to be negated forever. Zerzio negates it permanently, so then he can basically banish like, you know, a couple of Drytrons. He can basically send everything on my field except Zerzio himself. And this gets negated forever. So like basically I was gonna deal with the big threat, which is like a huge, like for me that's a big deal, because like you guys are gonna see. So I'm gonna press play. So then I do this, right? So then I'm like, oh, I misplayed, oh well, so I'm just gonna use Zerzio, because I'm like, I can already see, like, dude, because look, you guys have to understand what's in his grave. Like this deck plays from his grave, so I just like, I lost. You guys will see. Because like this card, I can't stop it, and he can just bounce my equip in this, send him to the grave, smack over this, and OTK me. So like I see that I lost, and you guys are gonna see how it plays out. He did beat me. So like that misplay, although it might not have meant like it's game for like, you know, for sure, it would have gave me a better chance than I had, like a fighting chance. So he's just gonna start playing from his grave. Look at his follow-ups, it's insane. Like Algama, summon that, going to Phoenix, Colink, pop, draw. Zeta, Delta for Delta, I think, and then he goes Unicorn, shuffle this, boom. Like, he has game, and then, like, he flexes a little bit. I'm like, alright, bro, keep flexing. And then he smacked me for game. And he has the counter trap, so it's like, bro, what was my top deck? I was going to top deck Medusa and have the summon be negated, so I was losing that. And then we go into game 3. You guys see my hand's actually super nice. I have Field Spell, Counter Trap, Called By, Gorgonite, and like I just go Zerzio into my defeat because I open Basilius. Then I go Basilius for Gorgon, pitch Gorgon like I normally do, get Celine, equip it to him, and I keep it that way. This plays around Kaijus, because if they Kaiju him, you still have an Evil Eye, so you could use Defeat, you can use the Retribution. I have Called By because it's actually really good against his deck, and you guys are going to see how this plays out. One thing I will say is I accidentally called by the wrong Drytron because they all look the same and I wasn't sure, but it actually came out, like it came through with the clutch. And then you guys see I activated Defeat when he summoned his boss monster to target it and my Basilius to bounce him back to hand. So now, like this way, I have a follow-up so that if this gets attacked over, I lose the follow-up, but now having this in hand, I have a follow-up. So press play. I did that like I had to because I have no other cards in hand. I called by the wrong Drytron, as you can see. With that Drytron that I called by, it actually came up where he needed to use his effect and it costed him. So I was really glad. But they looked all the same, so I thought I was called by the grave. You know, I thought I called by the right one. I used Counter Trap on his ritual spell. But like, the thing is, basically he tried to search out ritual spell again, but I called by the grave that Drytron that searches it. And you guys can see, like, I just changed Zerzio to his Phoenix. Like, and it couldn't resolve. So then I used Zerzio to pop the field spell. And like you guys see, like I have total control of this game now. So I search another Zerzio. I use Basilisk, dump Gorgon, normal Zerzio. Use him, dump Emergence. I go into Zerzio. I can OTK his butt now. And then I set the Selene. This time I do activate this while I have Selene. Summon 2 tokens. He's gonna get boosted to 31. Link in the Gorgon, and that's game. 31, and 26. A clean. So first turn setup, second turn kill. Evil Eye is actually strong, and like I still in on an interruption, which is like really crazy. But the other thing too is like if I use it, it negates her. So I had to do that just to go for game. But like it was pretty dope, you guys. It was. And then this one's against generators. So pause. You guys see his hand. Let me swap. His hand's actually, it's pretty dope, you guys. Like, he has Extravagance to bait my Ash, and then he has a crazy 2-card combo. Like, the Monstrosity plus this Lopter is like, yeah. You guys will see. Extravagance gets Ashed. He has a 2-card combo in his hand, which does a lot for him. So he's going to summon out Horror, and then he's going to activate that, which was really smart. And then I'm like hoping that he doesn't keep this out because this hurts because my deck needs its normal summon. Like a Solemn Judgment can like really hurt my deck a lot. So press and play, searches the field spell off of her. He's comboing off, you guys. I will say though, he also was smart by not playing into Nibiru territory because he could have went into the generator boss monster. Where's this guy? Maybe he banished it off Extravagance. Maybe he did. Let me see. Ooh. Yeah, so he still has it. He could have went into the Boss of Eternity, triggered the field spell, and then summoned out another generator, overlaid into True King of all Chlamydia, plus the rank 9 boss monster, and then he summons out Horror anyways, or, you know, Hella off of the boss stage on my turn. So he played it smart because that would have been playing into Nibiru. Because as you guys see, Lopter's normal, this special, that's 2. No, never mind. He was playing into Nibiru no matter what, so he should have just done that. I'm tripping. Now I just counted the summons. He was going to get Nibiru no matter what, so he should have done the combo I was talking about. I'm tripping. I'm over here thinking he was doing something. Alright, so you guys see, you know, I have to play into the boss stage because I have to draw for turn. Right here, I'm fighting for my life. I'm under Calamities. He has an Omni Negate, he has Lopter, and he has an Imperm, which doesn't matter because of Calamities, but like, so I go Extravagance. He changed Lopter, so he doesn't take the bait. So I have an Imperm for his Hard because like I added, so Hard makes me pitch a monster. Then I chain Imperm, so now he has to use Hard to negate. So I'm fighting for my life already, and I have Confrontation for his field spell, so that takes away the field spell. So like now all I have to do is deal with his board, and like even though I can't use monster effects, if I opened the Evil Eye of Selene for turn, I could have normal Zerzio, equipped it, and on his turn use it to pop the Chlamydia right here. So then that way, like, I take care of all his threats. So all this hand needed was a Selene, because if I have Selene, Zerzio, and like everything I have, I basically get to bait the Horror so that it uses this negation effect. And then, oh wait, dang, he's still gonna be there. No, but that's right, because once he starts tributing generators, this isn't gonna be able to have enough tribute fodder. So like you guys see, anyways, I'm fighting for my life. I go Imperm, he changed tribute to negate, and then I pitch the Medusa, then I go Terraforming field spell, activate field spell, he banishes, I'm like, cool. Then I normal Zerzio, activate Confrontation. Like legit, I'm fighting for my life. Like if all I need is a Selene, now, so I activate Selene here, equip the hand. And then basically at that point, What I would probably do if I had the Celine, like if this was Celine, because I have like 6 Celines, legit, Fool's Burial count, so I have 9. So if I equip Celine here, during his turn, I can just activate Sergio. He can't chain Calamities to negate it because it's already activated. So then I just activate Sergio, targeting him, destroy him, and now he's just left with Calamities, and like he can attack this, but it won't be able to be destroyed by battle because of Celine, and it can't be targeted by Imperm. So it's like a nice setup, but also he has Condemn Witch, so you guys are gonna see. Top deck's another one, then he normals her. Searches out Chalice. Smack. Smack. And yet again, I'm fighting for my life. So he declares Dark this time. He's like, I know what you're doing now. I activate Fill Spell, he summons Lopter, and then this is where it's ugly. War, discard that. And I'm like, dang, I lost. But, like, I had a fighting chance. It was kind of one-sided, but I still had a fighting chance, as you guys can see. And then swap, pause. He has Ash, Cyclone, Boss Quest, and, like, his Har, and, the Nidhogg. And as you guys see, I have Medusa, Sergio, the card I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and a Fool's Burial Goods. Fool's Burial Goods plus this is a nice combo. It's a really nice 2-card combo because, you pitch Gorgon, you basically pitch this off Gorgon, search field spell, normal Sergio, Sergio effective search, special this from Graveyard because it was discarded off the Gorgon, and you have a 2-card combo right there. So you guys are going to see, I have Extravagance. I think he's going to Ash that. Yes, I'd rather him Ash that than the Sergio, because the Sergio is more important. Get my field spell, activate my field spell, get my Basilius effect, dump Gorgon, dump him. Get Celine, then I bring him back and link all of them into Sergio because I realize now, monsters are not going to matter. What's going to matter is the field spell. So I get Sergio out, so that way I can basically be able to pop his generator field spell. I have 2 follow-ups, but here's where it's ugly. He has the Cyclone. I wish he would have Cycloned on my field spell, but he was smart. So I'm just like, I just chain him just because that's like my only chance. And then he activates boss stage and he passes. This is where it gets ugly. He summons Lop, gets all his tokens. He plays only 1 Har, I believe. That's why he didn't summon it until he put it back into his deck. So you guys are gonna see. Oh wait, never mind. I'm tripping. He does have the Har. They must be a different game then, because one of these games I played against him, he just didn't summon Har until he put it back. Then I go normal Medusa. So you guys see, like, I'm trying to bait him. Like you guys see the plays I'm making. I'm trying to bait him. And then I know Medusa, special him, Adam, and then special him, and you guys are going to see what play I'm making. I dump Celine, and then I'm just going to, because he Cosmic Cyclone my Celine, then I'm going to equip Celine to him. Now I can target the Har, kill it, because I baited it, and then I smack Rock, and then I'm like, alright, now I'm going to, basically, like, I can't preemptively, like, do this. So, like, okay, I'm like, alright. That's the standby mandatory because I use this effect negate what the effects of a monster he points to. I can't be trigger happy with popping because I know he searched this. So I have to wait till he uses the effect of generator boss stage, like the actual effect. Then I chain. So like that's my opportunity. So you guys are gonna see press and play, draw phase, boss stage. So summons Lopter, then I chain boss stage. So see, it doesn't matter that he only summons the 1 generator. That's okay. I have to stop the token generation because that's the part right there. So like if you read it, you can only use this effect the boss stage. The effect to special summon is like a soft once per turn, but the token generation is hard once per turn. I have to stop that so he doesn't get tribute fodder. So that's where I use the Zerzio to pop his field spell. So now the boss fight that he has, that I know he has, doesn't matter. And then he goes boss fight. So he can summon from deck. But then I chain confrontation. I have to out and I get to banish his boss stage, which is super nice. And he surrenders because I got it, you guys. Evil Eyes came through. Game 3, I think he smacked me on this one. Let's see, swap. So he opens Double Hella. He opens boss stage, terraforming, call by. I have Ash, Extravagance, Celine, Confrontation, and Gorgon Eye. I need the Extravagance to do something for me. So he's gonna have the boss stage. He's gonna set the call by. I have to Ash because I don't have anything yet. He doesn't call by on the Ash, which is very strange. Very, very strange. So you guys see Extravagance got me there. I go Domain for Sergio. Normal Sergio. I search out my Basilius like I normally do. I dump Gorgon, pitch Gorgon off Gorgon. And like, see, this is where I think maybe he forgot about his call by, because it would have made a difference. He would have had an Omni negate, which would have like stopped a lot. And I have the confrontation to deal with this field spell, and I basically have the feat, and then I have this, so I can summon Zerziel and then get him equipped, so that now I have that spell speed 2 Dryden. But so like I got game 3 because he just didn't call by for some reason, which was weird. Dang. I still have more duels. I guess I have the mirror match too, like, which is crazy. I had an Evil Eye mirror match. Like, there's just so much that I can show you guys, but let's go back real quick to the deck list, and then this is over. So again, this is the list. I feel it's very important to play the 9 hand traps. The 10 Evil Eye monsters are really important. These 6 right here are the best to start up. This is better for your grind. Like, one thing I will say with these cards right here is these cards, even though it's just like a normal summon, these cards generate a lot of advantage, because what you can do off of Medusa is you can actually normal her, recur the field spell because it's an Evil Eye card, and then activate the field spell, get a Basilisk, special the Basilisk, use the Basilisk, and then you can dump, for example, a Selene, and then you link her and him into a Gorgon, and then you have a Gorgon equipped with Selene and the field spell, all off of one Medusa. So one card does a lot in this deck. The same instance is for Zerziel, except instead of adding the field spell from graveyard, you just add it off Zerziel and you do the same play. But with Medusa, it's different because you normally always have Evil Eye spells and traps in your grave to do the Selene, the play with Selene. So like with him, when you open him, it's like Zerziel plus any Evil Eye card is your full setup, because you just normal him, get field spell for him, dump Gorgon, pitch whatever's in your hand, and you basically get to search out your Selene, which is really, really strong. And something else that's really cool that I like to do is, if I want to use Gorgon to search something else, if I already have Selene, I just use Gorgon, pitch Selene to search for whatever I need, and then later on that turn, I just banish to set the Selene and then activate it, and then I get a free search off Gorgon, and then the free search off Zerziel. Like, so everything pays for itself. So like this board, this deck, the boards it makes aren't like the most oppressive, but like, when you really think about it, like, if you don't have an out to the clip spell, the monster itself can't be targeted, destroyed by anything, like, at all. And it's like really, really strong, like the way this deck sets up, and it's like that surprise factor too. So I feel like this deck is tier 2. That's what I would say about it. It's really strong. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna say a quick prayer and I'm out. You guys did not get to see the summon limit. There can only be one, but these cards just absolutely clap. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus I pray. Thank you, Father. Amen. Alright, you guys. So you guys got to see this amazing deck. Try out some other road strategies. They're really, really cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And obviously I want to change these for dark roads like I was saying. But that's pretty much it, you guys. Peace out.